Protesters storm National Assembly over real-time election transmission battle. Hello my beautiful people and welcome back to Gist Angle, your hub for hot gist and verified political updates. Happening now is the tension unfolding at the National Assembly, where protesters have taken to the gates, insisting that lawmakers must make real-time electronic transmission of election results mandatory with no manual backup. Without wasting time, let's dive right into the report. Nigeria's electoral reform debate has just moved from the Senate chamber to the streets. Civil society organizations have stormed the National Assembly of Nigeria, demanding one thing and one thing only: make real-time electronic transmission of election results mandatory in the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026, and they are not backing down. They came under the banner of respected civil society coalitions including YIAGA Africa, Situation Room, ActionAid Nigeria. Their message was loud and clear: no more manual collation, no more loopholes, make real-time transmission compulsory. However, security operatives had already barricaded the entrances to the complex. The protesters were forced to stage their demonstration outside the main gates, but the barricade did not silence them. Now, why are they protesting? At the center of this crisis is Clause 63 of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2026. Last week, during an emergency plenary session, the Senate revisited its earlier decision on this clause, and this is where things got heated. During the session, Senate Chief Whip Tahai Moguno moved a motion to remove the phrase real-time, replace the word transmission with transfer. To many observers, that single change was not just grammar, it was political. Why does real-time matter so much? Let us break it down simply. Real-time transmission means results move instantly from polling units to INEC result viewing portal. No delay, no overnight movement, no manual intervention. But removing real-time introduces flexibility, and flexibility, critics say, can become manipulation. Civil society groups argue that the moment manual collation is retained as a fallback option, it creates room for 1. Human interference, 2. Result tampering, 3. Collation center irregularities. And we all know most controversies in Nigerian elections happen during collation. So after heated arguments, including strong objections from Naya Abaribe, the Senate approved electronic transmission to INEC's portal, but they retained manual collation as backup in case of technical failure. That compromise is what triggered this protest. To lawmakers, it is a safety net. To protesters, it is a loophole. So the demonstrators insist that if Nigeria has already budgeted billions for election technology, if beavers exist, if digital infrastructure has been deployed, then why keep manual collation at all? They argue that manual backup is the doorway to manipulation. They believe full transparency can only happen if results are uploaded immediately from polling units. Manual handling is completely eliminated. There is no discretion left at collation centers. Now let us look at the political timing. This protest is not random. It comes just days after the Senate adjourned for a 5-day break following assurances during last Tuesday's plenary. The Senate is scheduled to reconvene on Tuesday, February 17 at 11 a.m. and the Electoral Act Amendment remains on the agenda. Civil society groups are clearly applying pressure before lawmakers return to the chamber. This is strategic. Now, why does this matter for 2027? The 2027 general elections are already shaping up to be one of the most competitive in Nigeria's history. Political alliances are forming. Opposition coalitions are quietly negotiating. Economic dissatisfaction is high. Youth political consciousness is rising. In that kind of atmosphere, even a small technological loophole could spark massive unrest. The protesters know this. That's why they are acting early. Now, here is the bigger issue: trust. At the heart of this debate is trust. Many Nigerians still question what happened during the last general election regarding electronic result uploads. While accreditation technology performed well, the transmission phase generated controversy. Now, the question is simple. Will lawmakers lock in mandatory real-time transmission, or will they retain manual fallback options? Here are the Senate dilemma. Lawmakers face a tough balancing act. On one hand, technology can fail. Network disruptions happen. Cybersecurity threats are real. On the other hand, manual systems are historically vulnerable to human manipulation. So what is safer? A digital system with backup or a strictly digital system with no human fallback? That is the real debate. So what happens next? The Senate reconvenes February 17. Civil society groups have vowed to sustain pressure. If lawmakers refuse to amend the clause to include mandatory real-time transmission, protests may escalate. This could turn into a nationwide campaign, and if 2027 approaches without clarity on this issue, it may become a central campaign talking point. Now, this is not just a legislative argument over wording. It is a battle over 1. Electoral credibility, 2. Public confidence, 3. The future stability of Nigerian democracy. One word, real-time, has become the dividing line between trust and suspicion. And now the pressure is on the National Assembly. Will they close the loopholes or leave room for discretion? Now, as this debate continues to unfold, here are questions Nigerians are asking. If technology is already in place, if billions have been budgeted, if past elections exposed weaknesses, why is there still hesitation to make real-time transmission fully mandatory? Is the manual backup truly a safety net, or is it a political escape route? If technology has improved over the years, why are we still afraid to trust it completely? If real-time transmission is removed, what exactly are lawmakers protecting? Is manual collation truly about backup safety, or about maintaining control? Do you think 2027 will be peaceful if this issue is not clearly resolved now? And here's the biggest one. Can Nigerians ever fully trust election results if there is even a small loophole left open? Well, the Senate reconvenes soon, and whatever decision they take could shape the credibility of the 2027 elections before a single vote is cast. So what do you think, my people? Should real-time electronic transmission be made compulsory with no manual fallback, or should there always be a backup option? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk. Please drop a like for this video, and if it's your first time here, kindly subscribe, turn on your notifications so you always get our updates.
It's just Angle.